Hey everyone, John from Nintendo Live here, and I am not alone. I'm joined by the stupendous Alex.
Hello, it's the stupendous Alex here. I'm afraid the original Alex wasn't available.
He's gone forever. Alex, we just saw the trailer for Mario Odyssey 2, but they've called it Bowser's Fury. This looks way more open than I could have ever expected, because 3D World is a pretty linear 3D Mario game, but this looks way more in the vein of Mario Odyssey.
It does. It's a strange sort of marrying of the two ideas because, well, we can't be absolutely certain, but from the trailer, it looks like it is just one big open world. Well, I say open world. It's just one big level that you run around in, kind of like a level in Mario Odyssey, only on a significantly bigger scale if you ignore Bowser's Kingdom, because that was mostly empty space.
Yeah, and you even seem to have, like, almost power moons kind of in there. Like...
In fact, I've literally just seen it, because I got the trailer going on in the background, and it is... I think the animation is pretty much identical. I'm going to go back a little bit again and get a really good view of this. So he's just grabbing it. Yeah, it's uncanny how close it is to Odyssey. It's like, hey, Mario Odyssey DLC. Maybe it was at one point designed to be Mario Odyssey DLC, but they decided to bundle it with this. And they made it a little bit more 3D World. Like, I mean... That's only speculating, but...
I mean, they're very different games, 3D World and Odyssey, so it's crazy to see this kind of movement style within this play style. We got a little glimpse of it in the base game. There's that desert level where it opens up into this giant field. And it didn't work that well on Wii U. Like, there was pop-in everywhere, it was very empty. So I'm kind of surprised they went with this premise, but it seems with the extra horsepower of the Switch, they can fully pull it off. And I think I remember reading that 3D World and Odyssey are actually built on, or at least modified, on the same engine. So maybe they took those modifications from Odyssey and just applied them to the core base of 3D World.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things, I'm going to see if I can find the actual mark, because it's genuinely, it's a move we haven't seen in Mario 3D World ever. I was going to see if I'm never going to find it now, of course, but we see...
Is it the dive by any
chance?
chance?
It's the dive. That is just like the dive in Odyssey. It's not exactly the same, but it is incredibly close. Like, incredibly close.
I think he even rolls after 2, and 3D World had a roll, but you had to be stationary when you use it. You have to duck and press Y, but I'm pretty sure he goes straight into a roll after that dive as well. What's also interesting is the base game, the base 3D World, is actually around 20% faster than the Wii U game. I remember doing a comparison with the Wii U version, and Mario at the same speed ran much faster. So they've boosted the core movement speed in the base game, and I assume in Bowser's Fury as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm still, I don't know, I'm kind of still reeling from this because it just looks lovely. I mean, I'm not entirely certain how long it's going to be, as in how long it's going to take to complete, whether this is the only world or if there's other worlds that we can explore as well. I don't think there are going to be other worlds, but I'd love to be proven wrong.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I mean, what's even the premise of this? I mean, we see Bowser comes out of his almost Calamity Ganon kind of shrine towards the end. If I had to guess, I imagine you go around and collect a certain amount of power cat moons, or whatever they are, and that maybe awakens Bowser?
Power kittens, I'm calling them now. No, it's power kittens.
So we'll go with that. I think what's going to happen is you pick up a certain amount, you awaken Bowser, and then you fight him in this weird this giant supersonic battle.
Yeah, it's either that or the Dynamax feature from Pokemon. I mean, to be honest, you know, characters growing to enormous size for a final battle isn't an entirely original concept. So I don't think we can really sort of pin it down to one particular franchise, but either one will do.
I also love how many cats there are in this trailer. Did you notice there are normal cats in there, and they're colored green, pink, blue, and black, which are the colors of Luigi, Rosalina, Peach, and Toad. So it seems they may have been turned into cats. I
think I may have just seen something else as well. That is a tortoiseshell, what many people would call a calico cat. This is a white and tortoiseshell cat.
This really is all about cats then. And if you look at the pigeons, just the birds that roam around the screen sometimes, they have cat ears. So everything's a cat. Even the birds are cats.
Well, I mean, the Hammer Bros have cat ears as well.
Yeah, so do the piranha plants and the Goombas.
Plessy doesn't have cat ears, and nor does Bowser Jr. They're not pulling their weight.
No, of course not. We haven't actually mentioned Bowser Jr. yet.
What is up with that?
I don't know. It seems to be a really cool mechanic, though. He's pretty much in every scene. I can't tell if he's a power-up, but it looks like he automatically attacks enemies. Because Mario's throwing boomerangs at the moment in the scene I'm watching, and Bowser's kind of attacking at the same time. So it's so hard to say what he's there for, what he's doing, or how you even control him. Whether
he's controlled at all. I mean, he's using the same magic brush as he used before in the original Sunshine, where he first appeared. I always thought it was sooner, but no, it's Sunshine he first appeared. And it just almost, the movement looks quite AI controlled, if I'm brutally honest. I don't, because my first thought was, player 2 can play as Bowser Jr. And that may well also be the case, but I'm sort of getting the feeling that it's maybe some sort of, like an assist mode or something, maybe. You know, you can play as Mario on his own, or you can play with Bowser Jr., because Bowser Jr. isn't always there. But he's there enough that makes me feel that he's maybe not a power-up.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, 3D World is a very multiplayer-focused game, but with a fully controlled camera in a big open setting, that just doesn't really work for this kind of setup. So something kind of like Cappy almost, that's what he kind of reminds me of in Player 2 Cappy, where it just kind of floats around you. And it's not crucial, but it seems like he can be helpful if you are playing with someone else.
Yeah, and it's sort of, I mean, kind of the other way around, but it kind of reminds me in a way of like Bottle's Revenge. I don't know whether you're aware of that.
Okay.
I've actually played that because it was actually kind of finished in the... For people who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, in Banjo-Tooie, there was originally planned a multiplayer mode where a second player would play as Bottles, who would then control enemies and try and kill Banjo. Never made it into the final game, but just the way that he's kind of hovering around and he's always there, no matter, doesn't look player controlled for the most part, just really reminds me of that, of all things.
Such a callback there, but I can see it. Oh, I'm really excited for this now. It looks way broader than I thought it ever could have been. And I was kind of sold on this already, just from the game having different movement to the original. But if I were to buy it alone just for this new mode, I think I would.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not even just like it's added in additional levels. This is new gameplay. It almost looks like a teaser for what Nintendo was planning to do for the next 3D Mario game or something. It's very bizarre. And I was about to say it's very un-Nintendo, but to be honest, they do whatever the bloody hell they like, really, don't they?
I mean, we look at like Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. They had Future Connected in there, and it's like a semi-sequel, I suppose, but it also didn't really change the gameplay much. Whereas this is borderline a brand new sequel. It's new gameplay mechanics used within a familiar kind of format, but it does something entirely new. And I don't think we've seen that before in a Nintendo port.
Not as far as I can think of. It's just I just don't know what to make of it. I've just seen another move as well. I'd seen it before, but we haven't yet discussed it. At one point, Mario holds a shell and then gets in it.
Oh, he can do that in the base game, but I think it was only used in like one level. So it's kind of interesting to see those mechanics come back.
Okay, so that's maybe not so new. We do see some evil cats, though.
Yeah, we do see. Yeah, in the shadow section, there's some evil cats. What's with them?
Yeah. Oh, no cats are evil, and all cats are evil. It's
That's the law.
Oh! I've just happened to see as well. You know that cat that I showed you before, the white and tortoiseshell. I just saw it again, but it was evil.
Oh no. Will the Luigi and Rosalina and Toad cats, would they turn against us too?
Maybe, if indeed they are those things. I mean, who rightly knows?
Watching these Plessy scenes where they're just swimming around the ocean, it just gives me feelings of Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Because you can just see so many places off in the distance that you want to go to. There's so many different platforms and areas that you can just intertwine between, and I'm so excited to just delve into this world now.
Yeah, it looks for the most part like it's a single island, or at least archipelago. But there is a point where I'm fairly certain you can see Plessy swimming, sort of Mario on the back of Plessy swimming towards what is clearly a very far off series of, and another series of islands. How big is it? And are there, is that Mario, the big giant bell power-up, which we haven't quite mentioned yet, is there just one of them, or is there multiple? I've just seen another scene where there's what appears to be the same power-up in the background, but again, evil, but not in the shadowy section.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because Shadow Bowser appears during regular gameplay at certain points, or at least it looks like. Yeah, it could be part of like a chasing boss battle perhaps, but it does seem like the time of day shifts a lot. Like we see it during the day, we see it during when it's raining, we see it when Bowser's attacking us, and we also see us getting big and attacking Bowser. So the format is just so peculiar. There's so many. This trailer kind of begs more questions than it gives answers.
It just looks. Do you know what? It just looks fun.
It does.
It just looks like straight up fun. It's like a little bonus thing with goodness knows what's actually properly going on realistically. But it is kind of. Maybe it was originally meant to be something like Super Mario Odyssey cross Super Mario 3D World.
It certainly feels like that.
Yeah, there's just so many parallels. Or maybe they just took some good ideas and they want to have those direct nods. That's equally as likely. I just want to play it. And when does this come out? It comes out on the 12th of February or something, doesn't it?
Oh, it's so close. It's like a month away.
Yeah.
It is exactly a month away.
Ooh. Which hopefully we'll get a chance to play it beforehand because, privilege. And maybe we'll be able to share some thoughts with you lovely people as well. That'd be good. I've just seen the Cheap Cheeps have got cat ears as well.
God, this is amazing. When they first revealed this game and they showcased that little teaser scene with Bowser's Fury and Mario's just in the rain, what are your expectations then, and how does it compare to what we've seen now?
Honestly, my expectations were it's going to be just like a new world, just like every other 3D world, but it's going to be a different theme, and it's, just like any of the other worlds with a series of levels. You go through the levels, and maybe there's a sort of a dark, evil theme, and, more cats, because even back then we could see that there were cat ears everywhere. Not quite to this degree, but, nevertheless, it was still apparent.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw it then, I was speculating about it. It looked like in the distance there were separate platforms you can jump between, and you could sort of explore a bit more. I was expecting it to be a bit more open, but I was expecting it to be like the Savannah level from the base game. I was expecting something small. This is far beyond that. This just looks like... It looks more open than some Mario Odyssey kingdoms. It's frankly vast.
I think it absolutely does, yeah. It's like they've taken the scale of the Sand Kingdom, gone, no, that's not big enough, and yet filled it with stuff to do as well, which one could argue the Sand Kingdom did not, but that was part of the point of it. I'm not ragging on the Sand Kingdom, love the kingdom. This is just... It's bizarre.
I loved Mario Odyssey, but I do hear complaints sometimes from people saying that there aren't many challenging platforming sections, and this looks like a game for them. It's the structure of Odyssey, but it looks like every platforming section could have came from the base 3D world. It's just compiled in this big, open environment. So if you weren't satisfied with Odyssey's platforming, this might do it for you.
I tell you, it's almost a little bit like Odyssey, but with a step back. No, that sounds bad. Odyssey put a step back to a more sort of traditional 3D Mario experience, which 3D World was not. But it reminds me a little bit more of, to be honest, a little bit more like Super Mario 64, if I'm being brutally honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've not really had a game like that since Sunshine, I wouldn't say. Odyssey, if anything's more like Banjo-Kazooie.
Get no complaints from me, my friend. This is Banjo-Kazooie, because it's got Bottle's Revenge as well.
I think we can talk about this trailer forever, because there's so much just to speculate and get excited about, but I think those are our base opinions in there. This just looks like an amazing expansion to 3D World. More than that, though, it looks like a weird combination of Odyssey and 3D World. And I just cannot wait to get my grubby little mitts on it.
Me neither. I can't wait to get my paws on it.
I should have said that. So, well, let us know what you all think of Bowser's Fury down in the comments, and be sure to go to that subscribe button and give it a cat bell, and make sure it gets some nice little cat ears. And we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Meow.